Suspense is building over whom Donald Trump could announce as his vice president. It could come earlier or during the Republican convention next week. Now, clues can be found in invitations sent to people who will be attending the event. What are the invites saying? One says guests are invited to an event, quote, with the nominee for vice president, unquote. So if the invite is saying that, well, put two and two together, we aren't far off from hearing about who Trump will soon pick as VP. So who is Trump's running mate going to be? Let's take a look at some of the names in the mix. First up, J.D. Vance, a junior senator from Ohio. Interestingly, there was a time roughly 10 years ago when Vance was seen as anti-Trump. There's a tweet where he referred to Trump as, quote, an idiot. There are reports of him deleting tweets where he called Trump noxious, even at some point calling Trump America's Hitler. But since then, Vance has jumped ship. He is now a fan of Trump. 2 years ago, he ran for Senate, getting a crucial endorsement from Trump. Vance's wife is the daughter of Indian immigrants, Usha. Now, Usha grew up in a suburb of San Diego. She and Vance were both students at Yale Law University. J.D. Vance has often credited Usha for shaping his thinking and career. Next, Doug Burgum. He is governor of North Dakota. Burgum once developed a technology company which he sold to Microsoft for $1 billion. He's one of those who reportedly got vetting documents to be considered as Trump's vice president. Burgum is not known nationally outside of North Dakota, but is considered a serious contender. So why? For his close ties to the energy industry, which could translate into money which Trump could use in the race to the White House. Now, Burgum is also said to have a great rapport with Trump, but at 67, the question is, does Trump really need a VP who, like him, is older? So there is much anticipation about another name, that's Tim Scott. Scott is not the usual face of the Republican Party, which is often criticized as being white male. Tim Scott is arguably now the most prominent black Republican in the United States. Black voters have traditionally supported Democrats, but Trump's appeal for black voters is strengthening. Tim Scott, as VP, could further bolster that. Now, staying with a vice president who could also represent diversity, Elise Stefanik. Stefanik is reportedly the only woman on Trump's VP shortlist. She is 39 years old and at one point was the youngest woman elected to Congress. She brings youth and could appeal to women voters. Stefanik was once hesitant about Trump and seen as a moderate, but is now one of Trump's fiercest defenders on Capitol Hill. Another name, Marco Rubio. Rubio is a senator from Florida. There was a time Rubio and Trump hurled personal insults at each other. Trump called Rubio Little Marco because of his smaller stature. Rubio hit back, commenting on Trump's small hands, which was intended to question Trump's manhood. Marco had said, quote, you know what they say about men with small hands, unquote. But that time has long passed. When the two men were bitter rivals in 2016, now Rubio endorsed Trump earlier in the primary, quite early on. Rubio is the son of Cuban immigrants. He speaks Spanish and could help with Latin voters. But just one issue, the Constitution does not allow the president and the vice president to come from one state, in this case it's Florida, so Rubio could need to change his residency. That's something he has said he's willing to do. So whom do you think will be Trump's vice presidential candidate? We'd love to hear from you. Who has the most chances from our list? And whom do you think we should have included? You know what to do. Leave your comments below.